All right. Woohoo! Welcome back. This is Dr. CJ Benkert with Puda Vida Wellness. And we are going live tonight discussing our 5-day water fast. Have you been on this journey with me? Have you been fasting? Have you been bone broth fasting? Have you just been here learning? So tonight we're going to talk about day 5. Yes, day 5. Wait. Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. Okay, Monday. I'm a little confused. 2, 3, 4. Today's day 5. My bad. Okay, so today is day 5. We are ending our day 5. And what we're going to be talking about today is whether or not you want to continue your fast. And so I know there's quite a few of you that want to continue. I know there's quite a few of you that actually started a week ago, a week before we started, several days before we officially started. So we officially started this 5-day water fast, this group guided Puda Vida Wellness water fast, Sunday night, Easter day night. So that was our last supper. And we've been meeting together here on a daily basis, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Today's Friday, and today we're going to decide. Post your questions. This is mostly going to be questions and answers. I've really covered pretty much anything and everything you need to know at this point. So if you've been on this journey with us, if you haven't, all of these videos are wherever you're watching them. So if you're in YouTube, on my YouTube channel, Dr. CJ Benkert, all of each day of the water fast is there. So I would encourage you to go back and rewatch some of those, take notes. If you're here in one of the Facebook groups, whether it's our Puda Vida Wellness Tribe group, or whether it is our Puda Vida Wellness with Dr. CJ, which is our community group, we are also going live in the Puda Vida business, the Puda Vida Wellness business page, and in my Dr. CJ Benkert Facebook profile page. So most of the stuff that I've covered, we talked a lot last night about making sure that we break the fast properly. So that is what I want to focus on tonight. Before we go into how to break the fast properly, though, let's just spend a few minutes talking about whether or not you should break the fast. So I don't know if you remember, but we talked about some of the signs, of whether or not you should break the fast. So one of the things that you want to remember is you really want to listen to your body. So our bodies will tell us what it needs. Our bodies will tell us when it's time to break the fast. And if you're super hungry, and maybe you've been hungry the whole time, I've got a couple people that have been kind of hungry the whole time. So they've been doing some bone broth. Whatever you've been doing, as long as it's not what you were doing, 2 weeks ago, which is, eating more often, putting a bunch of food in your intestines, whatever you've been doing, it's going to be beneficial. So, we're all here to grow and learn and expand. And I don't expect every single one of you to have done a pure water and mineral 5-day fast. Some of you did 2 days, and you're still listening because you know that eventually you want to do a 5-day fast, because maybe you want to do a 7-day fast. Because remember, Dr. Thomas Seyfried, I think I've got his book here. I'm in my office for tonight's call. Actually, I think it's in the other room. So Dr. Thomas Seyfried, who wrote the book on cancer as a metabolic disease, and it's super hard to read, very scientific, but he goes into depth about the DNA, genetics, the mitochondria. He talks a lot about, insulin and sugar burning and what's really causing cancer. And it's mostly a mitochondria problem. but based on his research and based on the clinical studies, because we have lots of studies on fasting, 1 7-day water fast per year. And that could be a 3.5 day and then another 3.5 day, or maybe you do a 5 day and a 2 day. Now, of course, I think it's going to be a little bit deeper and a little bit better if you would do 7 days altogether, because each day of that 7 day, you're going to go deeper and deeper and deeper. Whereas if you do like 3 days, you're going to go so deep, and then you're going to break the fast and get into your regular eating, which we'll talk a little bit about tonight. So any of my clients here know how to eat. And that's why I always start people that want to get their health back, that don't want to be on meds anymore, that don't want to die prematurely of cancer or heart disease. I start anybody that's ready to take that next step, start anybody who's ready to finally make a commitment and be held accountable to their health and being their best self. We start with a 12-month fat burning program. So I have several stages we take you through. We teach you how to burn fat for fuel first. We take all the junk out of your system so that you can slowly bring things back to see exactly what your body needs. What your body needs is very different than what your sister needs or your friend needs or your husband needs. Your body is unique. So we spend a lot of time over that 12-month period getting you healthy, getting you into autophagy, getting you into fast burning, supporting you nutritionally, customizing your program and testing you so that you can stay on the program because you're being fed nutritionally. And then once we're done with that, or once we have gotten you healthy enough, then we can look at more advanced techniques like this 5-day water fast, or like advanced blood work, hair testing, urine testing, which is the science-based nutrition testing that I talked to you about last night. So we got to catch, if you buy the Prolone food, can you still eat the healthy foods like vegetable soup, or just eat the Prolone food? So if you have the Prolone kit, you want to, whenever you do the Prolone kit, and we only have a couple in the office right now, but we have several coming probably Monday or Tuesday. So if you decide to break your fast and you want to extend the benefits of what's happening in your body right now, which is, remember the 7 benefits: autophagy, stem cells, hormone optimization, you're in ketosis, we've got energy diversion happening, healing the gut, resetting the DNA. Those are the 7 benefits. So if you want to continue, getting the benefits of those and not just going back into regular eating or keto eating or intermittent fasting or whatever it is you want to do, yes, the Prolone kit would be amazing because it's a fasting mimicking kit and you don't add anything to it. So if you don't have the kit right now and maybe you want to do that, it's okay. You can either continue in the water fast, which would be ideal, or you could just break the fast, but exactly how I'm teaching: low and slow, a little bit of healthy fats, a little bit of avocado, a little bit of steamed vegetables, a little bit of bone broth. Now, let me just finish my thought. I apologize. You can break your fast with healthy fats, and you can do that for a few days. And then as soon as you get the Prolone kit, boom, you can go right back into fasting mimicking. As long as you don't eat any carbohydrates or sugar, you will not release insulin, you will not take yourself out of autophagy, and you will not take yourself out of ketosis. The other caveat to that is you have to keep your protein below 20 grams per day. That's considered true autophagy fasting. When you eat more than 20 grams, you're not going to have high levels of autophagy. It's not going to be turned up as high. Remember, we talk about some of these things like on a dimmer switch. So, if you're eating a bunch of sugar and a bunch of junk, your body doesn't even know what autophagy is because you're just releasing insulin all the time. You're a sugar burner, you're storing fat, you're creating inflammation. Sugar burners sugar is a very dirty fuel. It's a aging fuel. It's an inflammatory fuel. So the way to picture the difference between sugar burning and fat burning is sugar burning is a big wood campfire. So you've got all this wood burning and you have all this smoke. So think about being down at the beach and having a big bonfire with your friends. And you've got all this wood and all this stuff that you're burning, in this big bonfire. And it's putting off all this heat and all this flame and all this smoke and all this ash. That's sugar burning. It increases inflammation. It increases the aging process. It spikes insulin. It favors fat storage. There's so many negative biochemical reactions that happen when you're in sugar burning. It is not the best state to be in. In comparison, fat burners, and this is what we call being fat adaptive or being metabolically flexible or metabolically fit. And that's what my program's all about. This 5-day water fast, or whatever it is that you're doing. If it's a 5-day bone broth fast, maybe you're just doing green juices, whatever you're doing, if you're taking food out of the picture and you're not putting any sugar or carbs in, you are in autophagy and you're giving your body the time and the space to heal. So a fat burner is clean burning fuel. There's no smoke, there's no ash, there's no oxidation. It's that beautiful, clean blue flame, like on your gas stove or your barbecue, that blue flame that has no smoke, no end products, nothing's going on. It's uh, it's very I guess, what would you say? Um, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Anyway, so fat burning is ideal. Our ancestors fluctuated between the two, but the truth is that we eat more sugar and carbs than we ever have before. If you look at all of human history in just a 1-year calendar, so all of human history in just a 1-year calendar, it's only been the last day in a year of human history that we've been eating carbohydrates, processed carbohydrates, grains, agriculture, etc. And it's only been the last hour of human history that we've been eating processed sugar. So natural sugar is okay. It's not the best when you're doing a keto lifestyle and trying to keep your body into fat burning, but processed sugar, everything's been stripped of it. It doesn't have any nutrients. So when you eat processed sugar, cookies, donuts, licorice, candy, I don't know, Gatorade, what you're doing is you're bringing this processed sugar into your body, and your body actually leaches B vitamins and minerals just to process that sugar. So the most important thing, and we talked a lot about this last night, and we've been talking about it all along the way. The most important thing is you tonight deciding, if you're still on this journey with me. I see that we don't have quite as many people as we've had, and I know it's a Friday night, so maybe some people will listen to this later, and that's fine. But the most important thing that you want to decide tonight is: are you going to continue, or are you going to break your fast? Are you going to break your fast? Maybe you're going to break your fast tonight. If you stop eating Sunday night, technically tonight's 5 days, and you could break your fast tonight. But just remember, if you do break your fast, you want just a very small amount of healthy fats tonight. You don't want to eat a meal tonight. One of the worst things you can do is eat a bunch of food, eat sugar and carbohydrates. It's actually very dangerous. It's very serious. If you look at the literature and look at the clinical studies, do some research, it's actually called refeeding syndrome. And that's why some of these people that were rescued, like from some of these Nazi camps that had just been like starved and were just skin and bones, they were rescued. And then they were given all this food, and many of them died because they ate too much too fast, and it creates all these issues with electrolytes and fluid imbalances and things like that. So please, not only is it not a good idea, it's actually dangerous, especially if you've been on this journey with me for a full 5 days, because that's considered a deeper, longer fast. If it's 2 or 3 days and you go to break it and you mess up a little bit, it's not as important. But if you've gone these full 5 days with a water fast and you've just been drinking, minerals and maybe some Noon tablets, maybe some pink salt, you definitely do not want to eat high carbs like pizza or rice or bread. You release insulin and you break that stuff down into sugar. that's going to create a surge of electrolytes. And right now, even if you've been drinking a lot of minerals, because you've been in fat burning, because you've been in detoxification mode, your electrolytes and or also called minerals are low, especially magnesium, calcium, potassium, and sodium. Those are the ones that tend to get low during fasting. So I know hopefully you've been using the Noon tablets and you've been drinking lots of minerals and getting electrolytes into your system, but you don't want to break the fast with carbs or sugar and create an electrolyte dumping, basically. That can create heart arrhythmias. That can just create some major issues. The other reason you don't want to put a ton of food in your system right away is because you've been resting your digestive tract. You've killed off most of that bacteria and even some of the good bacteria as well. So you haven't been releasing any enzymes, nothing's been going on in there. There's been none of this, peristalsis. So the intestines have this really cool little peristalsis movement that the cells move like that. Everything's just been quiet. It's just been resting and healing. And disease cells and unhealthy cells have been dying off. And our body has been using those cells and using that tissue to feed us and to nourish us right now. And there's plenty of fat that your body's been burning as well. So not only are you eating up cellular debris, bad cells, and unhealthy tissue, you've also been eating up a lot of fat, because all that extra fat is actually giving you double the amount of calories as the protein in the cellular debris and the diseased tissue. So fat is 3,500 calories per pound. If you've been doing this 5-day water fast, you've probably been burning at least a half a pound. Got doggies in the background, sorry. You've been burning at least a half a pound of body fat per day. So your body's not starving. You've been getting an extra 1,700 calories minimum per day, plus all the cellular debris and all the diseased tissue and all of the organelles and all of the cleanup. You've been getting extra protein that way. Wow, Paulina just said that she lost 10 pounds in 5 days. Paulina, it'll be 5 days in 1 hour. She's not counting or anything, but it'll be 5 days in 1 hour. So how do you plan on breaking your fast? A little avocado would be great. Some highly, steamed vegetables, or like a cooked broth. Like Lynette said, last time she did some vegetable soup, some avocado, a little bit of bone broth. So the key though is if you break the fast tonight, it's not a full meal. Please don't have any cookies. Please don't have any chips. Please don't have any processed food. I'm just begging you, and I'm hoping that you'll listen, because I feel as though if you have done this 5-day water fast, that you're committed to your health, and that you're going to heed to my advice, and you're going to realize that you love your body, that you want to honor your body and nurture your body. And the way that you're going to do that is you're going to break the fast properly. Kat, we had a coaching call this morning. She went 3 days, lost 7 pounds. Wow. So just know that, yes, you're probably going to lose some weight during the fast. Now, some of that weight is stuff that some of it's water weight. Some of it is dead tissue, unhealthy cells, unhealthy muscle. So your body's gotten rid of a lot. It's dumped a lot, right? Got this bucket of unhealthy cells, and it's just been dumping. Now, if you refeed properly, you can build quality muscle back, and you'll probably end up maybe gaining a few pounds back, but that's okay. But you're going to gain the right weight back, okay? As long as you heed my advice. So are you going to break the fast? Post in the comments, yes or no. And if you're not going to break the fast, we just want to continue, with all of the things that we've been doing. And then I'll just kind of go over those tips, how to have a successful fast if you're going to continue. The most important thing is that you honor your body, and if you're tired, that you rest. I also want you getting barefooted outside and grounding to energize your body and to create anti-inflammation and to support the detoxification. I want you using as many of these products as possible that I recommended, the Premier Pink Salt, the apple cider vinegar, the hydromolecular tablets, the Noon tablets, the pH minerals, any minerals or electrolyte drinks that you have, but make sure there's no sugar. You want to continue doing that as long as you're going to continue the fast. So Lynette's going to keep going. So she's going to be just keep going with us. And I'm going to go live again tomorrow. So I'm going to continue to support anybody that's continuing on the program on the fast. Mary said that she had an avocado with pink salt at 7:15 this morning, and then a little bit of bone broth with onions and zucchini. Yeah, so the first day you can break the fast with a little bit of healthy fat. That's not considered a meal. And then you're going to have only one meal that day. So Mary, that's perfect. You did it the perfect way. She's breaking her fast because she's going to Universal Studios in Florida. I think she's leaving, Sunday with her 4-year-old granddaughter. And she wanted to break the fast so that she could enjoy the time with her husband and her granddaughter, which is awesome. Okay, so one meal that first day. Now the second day, so remember low and slow, low and slow. Now the second day, so let's say you break a little bit of the fast tonight. That wouldn't really be considered the first day. And then I want you to have a little bit of healthy fat, maybe Dr. CJ's Cup of Joe tomorrow morning, maybe a little bit of more, maybe some more healthy fat, and then one meal tomorrow, just one meal, okay? Try not to do protein. If you are going to do a little bit of protein, I don't necessarily recommend it though on day one, but maybe like a little bit of salmon. It's a easily to digest. It's got good healthy fats in it. But the best thing on day one would be to just go with the foods that are in the guide. And that is fermented vegetables, bone broth, avocados, coconut oil, kefir, full fat organic kefir, olive oil, pasture raised eggs. Those has protein and good healthy fats with the yolk. Let's see, cultured dairy, fresh pressed vegetable juice. If you're going to buy it, like at Whole Foods or Sprouts, most of their fresh pressed juice has fruit juice in it. If you go to Whole Foods or Mother's, I know Mother's has a juice bar as well, and you can ask for like the Green Goddess, but no apple. So get one of the multiple vegetable fresh pressed juices that they carry. Mother's is actually my favorite. There's one down at Costa Mesa. There's one in Huntington Beach. There's one in Tustin. And I think most of them have a fresh juice bar. But whatever green juice you get, make sure you look at the ingredients and tell them no carrot and no fruit. So no carrot, no apple. So you can do kale. You can do cucumber. Beets is a little high in sugar as well. You can do parsley. But no carrots, no beets, no apple. You could do lemon, ginger. So you could do like kale, spinach, parsley, cucumber, lemon, and ginger. That would be a really good mix. Or maybe you have a fresh pressed juicer at home, like I do. So just go to one of the health food stores. Organic's better. Get yourself some Swiss chard, some, green leafy vegetables. Like I said, spinach, parsley, cucumber, and then you can just juice those yourself, and then you can just get a little bit of juice in there as far as breaking. Now, day 2 of breaking your fast. Day 2, you can have 2 meals, which is what most of my clients normally do anyway. We usually eat just 2 meals a day, most days, and we call that intermittent fasting. And now I'm advocating a 5 to 7 hour eating window instead of a 6 to 8 hour eating window, because I've recently learned that autophagy doesn't really start till 17 hours. That's why we don't want to go any more than 7-hour eating window. So 5 to 7 is a good rule of thumb, because most of our days, most of the time we're here on the planet, 80% of the time we really want to be in autophagy. We want to be in cleanup mode. We want to be cleansing our body, detoxifying our body. And then we want to do about 20% of the time with protein building days. Like if you want to be building muscle, you can work out on an empty stomach. And then when you're done working out, you're going to load up with high quality protein. That's going to build protein. You can also do carb loading days, that 20%. So 80% should be keto, which is autophagy, intermittent fasting. 60-70% of your calories should be with healthy fats, 15 to 20% with healthy carbs like whole, low carb, high fiber vegetables, and maybe a little bit of low glycemic fruits. 15 to 20% of your calories during those autophagy days, 80% of your life basically should be protein, 15 to 20% protein. Most people, based on the amount of muscle that they have, don't need any more than about 4 to 6 ounces of protein per day. And that's why in my 12-month coaching program, when we start you off in this amazing fasting mimicking portion of the program, which is like Prolone, but instead of just 5 days, we're doing Prolone for 40 days. And that's why most of my clients that go through that first stage, and then we go back through that stage multiple times over the year, they're going to drop 20 minimum, 30, 40. I've had some guys drop 50, 60 pounds of healthy weight. They've dropped healthy weight because they're in fat burning, they're intermittent fasting, they've turned on autophagy, they're not eating muscle, the water is actually getting higher, and you are getting your cells hydrated and cleaned out because of all of these processes that are happening. And then when you're done with all of that, so that's not healthy to do forever and ever and ever, right? Because the fasting mimicking that we do in the Pura Vida transformation system is we actually take all oils and fats out for those 40 days. We might throw oils in every once in a while for a reset. Now the Prolone fasting mimicking has a little bit of fat, but it's just a 5-day, but it's the same thing. It's going to keep you on autophagy. It's going to keep you in ketosis. So on day 2, you can have 2 meals, but keep them within that autophagy way of eating. 15 to 20% carbs, 15 to 20% protein, 60 to 70% of your calories. I don't want you counting calories. I know I'm giving you percentages, but I don't count calories. I make sure that I'm only eating low carb, high fiber, high water content vegetables. I'm making sure that I don't have any more than 2 servings of protein, 4 to 6 ounces. And then I'm making sure everything I eat has healthy fat in it. And I stick with my 2-2-2-2 rule. The 2-2-2-2 rule during intermittent fasting, which is 80% of your lifetime, is 2 tablespoons per day of coconut oil, 2 tablespoons per day of either olive oil or avocado oil, 2 tablespoons per day of either grass-fed butter or organic ghee. So that's 6 tablespoons per day of healthy fat, and then 2 teaspoons a day of our premier pink salt, which is not pink Himalayan. Pink Himalayan salt only has about 30, 40, the most I've ever seen is 60 trace minerals. The pink salt that we use is half Hawaiian, half Mediterranean. There's over 90 trace minerals in that salt. Okay, so 80% intermittent fasting, 20% of either a high carb day or a high protein day. And the high carbs, you want to choose carbohydrates that are going to rebuild the hormones in your body. So the problem is that when you're doing intermittent fasting all the time, if you're doing keto all the time, and you're not doing high carb days 20% of the time or high protein days 20% of the time, your hormones tank. Because in order to keep your hormone levels up, especially as we age, because as we get older, estrogen drops, women going through menopause, estrogen drops, progesterone drops, human growth hormone drops, men, testosterone drops. So if you want to keep those hormones as high as possible and keep the anti-aging in high gear for as long as possible so that you feel good and you look good and you have energy and you have good muscle tone, you need to do hormone building days. So the best foods for hormone building days are squashes. So normally we don't eat squash during intermittent fasting days because they're too high in carb, right? The other food that's really good for hormone building days are potatoes, sweet potatoes, yams, russet potatoes, red potatoes, white potatoes. And I know you're thinking, oh my gosh, I didn't think I'd ever eat a potato again. I didn't think I could ever be allowed to eat a potato again. But based on my research, and I'm continually, constantly, on a daily basis, I'm a nerd, I'm constantly reading, learning, watching scientific presentations, clinical presentations on leading edge, cutting science on anti-aging, natural health, ketosis, fat burning, diet variation, insulin resistance, hormone resistance. Every single day, I'm educating myself and learning because I love to learn, but I love even more than learning, I love teaching. So how can I teach you and how can I be of service to you if I'm not constantly learning? So I'm constantly learning, and now I know that it's not good. And I've known this for a while now. Dr. Daniel Pompa taught me this at least a couple of years ago. So he used to be all about fasting, keto, and then he trains doctors from all over the world, myself included. And we started discovering that people weren't doing very well, that everyone did really well in the beginning. So any dietary change, you're going to do great in the beginning because it's a change. But if you're fasting and if you're just keeping yourself in fat burning and autophagy all the time, that's like a famine cycle. Your body needs these healthy hormone building foods and high protein day foods to build muscle and keep your hormone levels up. So squashes, potatoes, beans, all kinds of beans, black beans, pinto beans, garbanzo beans, hummus. The other cool thing that you get to eat on those carbo loading days is citrus fruit. I hardly ever eat fruit anymore. Tropical fruit, I love papaya, I love mango, I love pineapple. Citrus fruits, I love those as well. So those have been proven to give your body the building blocks to rebuild and keep your hormones high so that when they're going down a little bit during the week when you're fasting or intermittent fasting or autophagy fasting, we want at least one day a week where you do all these nice, beautiful high carbs. The body's getting all these nutrients. You're bringing a lot of nutrients in during the week as well with natural herbs and whole food supplements. I'm big on nutrients. You do not get what you need out of food, even if you're eating healthy organic food. And then you can alternate that high carb day, or you could do a high carb day, and then the next day do a high protein day. So when I'm saying high carb, high protein, I'm talking 100 to 150 grams of carbohydrates on that day. How amazing and how fun is that? Especially for my clients and for myself that have been going through this journey, and just low carb, low carb, low carb. And there's these people online, there's people out in the online world that are just, they're just so obsessed, with low carb. But the truth is that that's not healthy. No one diet is healthy long term. You got to mix it up. Diet variation, feast famine, metabolic flexibility. And that's why the 5-1-1 or the 4-2-1 is a great weekly change up schedule to get in diet variation. So you can do weekly variations, you can do monthly variations, and you can do seasonal variations. So I have a couple of doctor friends. They'll do like a whole season of like high carb, just bulk up, gain a bunch of weight, and then they'll do like a whole quarter of low keto, low carb, getting in the gym, putting on muscle, and then they'll do some fasting, intermittent fasting, and they'll just drop a bunch of weight. So that's actually healthy, just to throw different things at the body. So second day, 2 meals. Third day, so you want to start off that first day probably about 25% of your normal calories. And again, I don't like counting calories, but just 25% of the amount of food you normally eat. How about that? Let's stop using the word calories. So you want to eat about 25% of the amount of food you normally eat first day. Second day, you want to eat about 50% of the food that you normally eat. And then by the third day, maybe 75%. I think that's a nice little gradual increase. And then by the fourth day, you can eat the same amount of food that you were eating before the fast, but keep your carbs and your sugars out. The longer you can keep your carbs and your sugars out, and you follow my advice as far as intermittent fasting, doing at least 17, 18, 19 hours a day, you can still eat a ton of food in 3 to 6 hours. So it's not about eating less food, it's about eating less often and eating the right kinds of food. So I hope that helps. Let's see, final thoughts. Congratulations, you completed the 5-day fast. We talked about, the 7-day fast, water fast, reducing your risk of cancer by 95%. You can repeat this 5-day fast once a year or as often as quarterly. And so I'll be going live again. And this year, for sure, I'm going to be doing a 5-day water fast every quarter. So we're going to do it again. When's the next quarter start? July. So 4th of July is on Sunday. So isn't that interesting? I started the 5-day water fast Easter evening. So our next 5-day water fast is going to start July 4th, Sunday night, and it's going to go the same dates. How funny. The 5th through the 9th, July 5th through the 9th. Post any questions that you have. I'll go live again tomorrow. We want to make sure that everybody here has the opportunity. If you're watching this video live, great. If you're watching after the fact, we'll be posting a link tomorrow or the next day. I don't want anybody to get a surprise diagnosis of cancer or heart disease or have diseases and imbalances and organ dysfunction brewing in your body and not know it. You have to get tested. So I'm going to make it so easy for you. We're going to put a link in these different places where I've been going live. And you're not committing to anything by clicking on the link, but click on the link if you want to learn more. And we've spent a lot of time putting together some really good information for you. So you're going to click on the link that you want to learn more about getting tested, having your blood work done. You're welcome, Kat. Having your blood work done, maybe some hair testing, urine testing. Minimum is my foundational nutrition panel through Science-Based Nutrition, which is the blood work. That's the bare minimum. Go through, read up on it. We've provided all kinds of information about the testing, what the report entails. You get a consultation with me both before and after. There's tons of value in this testing. I'm just finishing up. I've had 10 people go through the testing that started my True Cellular Detox program in February. And I've been working like a bandit, going through all of their findings and all of their lab work and creating these 15 to 20 page reports for each person. And it's just so valuable, the things that show up. So you can stop diseases from happening when you do the right blood work. And then when you find things that are out of range, we don't wait until it gets out of that wide medical reference range. We narrow the ranges so that everything needs to be in this optimal health zone, this 30% zone, so that if everything's in that 30% zone, your report's going to be color coded and you're going to have green stars. I think it's 50 to 60 elements that we test. If you're within optimal health, green star, green star, green star, green star. If you're outside optimal health, still within the medical reference range where your allopathic doctor, your medical doctor is going to say, oh, you're fine, you're healthy, you're normal, but you don't feel normal. And you know that there's something going on in your body because your digestive system's not working and you have rashes and your joints hurt and you have brain fog and you're not sleeping the way that you used to. Does that sound familiar? 40s, 50s, 60s, all these things start happening. Don't you want to find out what's going on in your body? Don't you want to find out how your body's functioning? Don't you want to catch cancer early? Don't you want to catch liver disease early, kidney dysfunction early? And so many of these things that show up in the blood and these other lab tests that we do, the urine and the hair, you have no symptoms. You have no symptoms. But yet I think you don't have symptoms until like liver function is down to 20%. Same thing with kidney. Like there's no symptoms. You could have 20% liver function with no symptoms. Don't you think it's important to get that tested? Dana said she received her report. We need to set up a report of findings. So what we do is we send you this electronic patient symptom survey first. It's 6 pages. It asks all kinds of questions about symptoms, surgeries, family history, and we incorporate all of those answers into your report, because different symptoms and health history, and rashes and diseases that you might have or did have, diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, constipation, metal amalgams in your mouth, all of those things are taken into consideration and are correlated with the results of the lab testing, whether it's blood, hair, and urine, or just blood. And then we get to see what imbalances are there, and you're gonna learn quite a bit about yourself. You're gonna learn a lot about the myth and the fallacy of high cholesterol. So the report, I go into detail that it's not about cholesterol at all. All the studies show that the higher your cholesterol, the longer you live. Cholesterol is an intricate part of your cell membrane. Cholesterol is an intricate part of your brain cells. But we've been lied to, and the cholesterol ranges have gone down and down and down because statin drugs are a multi-billion-dollar business. So if you want to learn the truth about what cholesterol really is and what you really look at in cholesterol, and it's not total cholesterol and it's not LDL, I teach you that in the report. So I include so much information about how to look at these different things, how to look at the thyroid panel. And then we test some things that your doctor's probably not testing, like vitamin D level. Vitamin D levels and COVID have been shown when you have proper vitamin D. Let me rephrase that. When your vitamin D levels are low, and low is anything below 50, and most of my clients that are getting tested right now, I have them on vitamin D. So most of my clients, a couple weren't, but most of them are 50 and above. If your vitamin D levels are low and not within optimal level, you are 16 times more likely to die from getting COVID. There is no research more profound, more I can't think of words tonight. Sorry, it's Friday night. I've been working all day. It's late. Anyway, there's no one nutrient that has the science behind it, and can decrease your chances of dying. That increase your chances of dying by 16 times because it's low. Zinc, I think, if zinc levels are low, it's like you're 4 times as likely to die if your zinc levels are low. But vitamin D, 16 times more likely to die if your vitamin D levels are low. Hello. Should you be taking vitamin D? Yes. Should you be taking zinc? Yes. The other nutrient that's great for decreasing viral replication is copper. And selenium is also good at supporting the immune system. So anyways, look for that link. I'll go live tomorrow. I want anybody and everybody that's watching me, that cares about their health, that cares about their quality of life, that cares about their family. There's no excuse not to get tested. It's not that expensive. If you're interested in the least bit, click on the link to learn more. And we're going to go through and show you exactly what the testing is, everything that's included, what the costs are. Once you decide to go forward with the testing, I'm going to send you a patient symptom survey, and then I'm going to schedule a consultation with you, either in the office or through Zoom, whatever you prefer. And I'm going to go over all the results of your patient symptom survey. We're going to have you fill out a couple of other forms. We're going to talk about all of that. We'll talk about what the best testing is, if we want to add a few things on, or whether we're just going to go with that foundational net nutrition panel. I'm going to send you to the lab to get tested. There might be some home labs that you do if you end up doing some urine testing or hair testing, but the blood is all done through LabCorp. And then those results come back. Typically, it takes about 4 to 6 weeks to get everything back and compile the report. I know some of my True Cellular Detox clients waited a little bit longer than that. I'm so sorry. I've just never had that many reports all at once. So I'm getting it down now, so it's not going to take as long. So please click on that link. Please reach out to me about getting tested. You don't want to just rely on the regular medical doctor testing. It's not enough, and they don't look at it properly. They're looking at it from an allopathic model. They're looking at it from, as long as you're within this wide range, you don't have a disease, you're healthy. It's so different than what we do. So when you click on that link, once we post it, we're going to explain to you why what we do is so different, how it's different, and exactly what you're going to get. So let's go live tomorrow. If you want to break it tonight, like Paulina said, you know, a little bit of healthy fat's great. One meal tomorrow. And then Sunday, no more than 2 meals. So tomorrow, about 25% of your calories. Sunday, about 50%. Monday, about 75%. And by Tuesday, you should be good to go. And then also raise your hand or reach out to us if you want to extend the fasting with the fasting mimicking kit, the Prolong kit, or raise your hand if you're not a client and you're interested in maybe a 15-minute discovery call with me. We can do that, and I can talk to you about the program. I have a 60-minute training webinar on how to reset your health and your metabolism in 5 steps that we can send you. And I go into detail what my 12-month coaching program is all about, why it's different, why it's not a weight loss program, but a health transformation program. So with that, I'm going to say goodnight. This is Dr. CJ Benkert with Pura Vida Wellness, helping you, coaching you.